Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are in the world. Welcome everyone to Walilat Contemporary in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm Vivi Sriphon from the Green World Foundation. Today we are at the Weaving the Ocean exhibition, and today I'm bringing four speakers from Thailand and from Indonesia. So today we will meet with Dr. Boripat, the researcher from McGill University. He also the president of the Green World Foundation. And the second speaker, we're meeting Dr. Pesh Monopoli. He co-founder of Relief, a company that dedicated to solving the plastic pollution problem and as well as other environmental issues. Dr. Pesh also Secretary General of the Green World Foundation as well. And third one, we meeting very honored to have Khun Baitong Jirarat. She currently the Miss Earth Thailand, and also just won the award for Miss Earth Fire in 2021 as well. And the last one, I'm very honored today for us to meet with Mr. Ari Abuyaji. He's an Indonesian artist. He currently based in Indonesia, Bali. He actually the one who pulled up this beautiful art together. But before we start today's discussion at the Anthropocene Discuss the fourth time at Wali Lab, a collaboration with the Green World Foundation. Today we will talk about clean clothes. What is it? What's happening now in the over coastline, and what together we can do to reduce the plastic pollution. So to show you, give you a perspective of the location of where we're sitting right now, I would like to walk you through the room with this video of the installation view of the Weaving Ocean. Let's have a look. It was very beautiful. So maybe I would like to invite Mr. Ari Buyaji to share with us about your work, and allow us, for us here and the audience, know about you as well, who you are and what you do, why you are inspired to pick up the trash from Bali coastline and turn into this beautiful art.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's really an honor to be with the Warin Lab and everybody in the panel today. So yeah, the artworks exhibited in Warin Lab, basically it was my project during the pandemic time in Bali. It was around 2 years when I stuck in Bali. Working with community there, we cleaned the beach at the beginning, and then the plastic ropes that they constructed because of the waves and the ocean water remind me of the cotton threads that Balinese people use for their traditional weaving. So it's all started by that, and then with the community that hit by pandemic because no tourism in Bali at the time, we worked together to start the project. So that's how I started.
Could you share a little bit about your background, who you are? I heard that you actually have different background, but you also as born and in Indonesia. So you want to combine your art and the culture. So could you like share with
Yeah.
us more on that?
Yeah, yes. My complete name is Ari Bayu Aji, and then I was born and grew up in Indonesia, but I studied as a civil engineer and I graduated as a civil engineer. So I work in architectural projects for a while in Bali, and then in 2005 I got burned out. So I decided to study fine art in Montreal. I studied fine art in Montreal, and then I kept continuing to work as an artist. But I keep my studio in Bali actually. I have like a small studio in Bali where I work, and Bali is really inspiring place because the art, the culture and the nature in Bali are so beautiful, and then it keeps giving me inspiration basically. So I was so lucky to be in Bali during the pandemic time when Bali was very quiet. That gave me time to get really close to the nature of Bali. That's yeah, it's one of the reason why this project started.
Yes, I mean, I have been to Bali as well, and then that's before the pandemic. So what I saw there is actually there's a lot of trash trapped in the mangrove area and also on the beach as well. And then you have turned this opportunity of the pandemic to give some livelihood opportunity for the local. I think it's very wonderful. And congratulations, your artwork is really
Thank you.
artistic and is, you know, we cannot tell that it actually made from the marine trash until we saw the behind the scene. So could you share with us a little bit, like in the past, how Bali beaches are like before the booming of the tourism? You have that childhood memories?
Yeah, I was not born in Bali. I was born in Java Island. It's like a bigger island, but I came to Bali like every year, sometimes twice a year since I was kid with my parents. We have to remember that in Bali everything was kind of wrapped in banana leaves long time ago. All the foods using just like a thick wood leaves or banana leaves. Even the offerings we use banana leaves and also coconut leaves, for example. So offering was everywhere, but again the Balinese after the offering they just throw it away. They just threw it the leaves, and of course they eat the fruits and other foods that still can be eaten, could be eaten. But unfortunately now with the offerings in Bali, they are still using lots of plastic. Now they are using a lot of plastic, even like snacks in the plastics. They put it on the offerings, you know, and then they just sometimes just throw it on the river or even small gutter. And of course, it will be ended in the sea, you know. So yes, long time ago we using like organic and natural materials, but nowadays with the plastic, Balinese still treat them in the same way. You know, they just throw it to the river or rubbish or small gutter, and even directly to the ocean. So that's what made me concerned at the time, and I started to get angry actually. I was really upset. I didn't know what to say to people because it's related to the religious ritual. So I was very, very frustrated. So instead of being angry or being like screaming to everybody, I decided to give an example. So basically, this project is kind of example to me, like to show them like what we can do.
Wow, this is very powerful because it's not only stop art from, you know, feeling and feel hopeless, that it's like the problem is too big to solve, but everyone can choose something that they're passionate and have expertise and then make it happen. So I would like to bring the audience to the speaker in our room. So we will talk it like a little informal discussion. We can exchange, we can ask questions directly to Ari. And by the way, Ari, what's happening in Indonesia, very similar to Thailand as well, because the throwaway culture. We both in the tropical country, we have a lot of baitong or the banana leaf in Thai. So we used to have that as a food container as well, and we do that. And then, so when the plastic come in, our behavior is not changed, so that's why it's here. So I would like to ask Dr. Boripat, you have seen many places, I believe, and like, could you share like, how was it like in the past? I mean, the coastal area in Thailand and the people behavior from the past, how we are today.
Well, thank you for having me joining this panel. And first of all, I would like to thank and congratulate Ari for your fantastic work. And of course, I was really inspired by your art pieces that are installed here at the Warin Lab. And really also congratulate Kun Phon at the Warin Lab for continuing using the art space here, engaging with the powerful and wonderful artists and bringing all this inspiring piece of work to the Thai public, especially us who are living in Bangkok. And Weaving the Ocean is another great example of the inspiring arts. I think art is also a big missing piece when we talk about conservation. But on the other hand, art is very, very powerful, it's very easy to relate to. Everyone can appreciate it. So if you ask me, I'm 51 years old next month, so I have seen some of the pristine habitats, especially beaches, especially when you talked about clean coasts. Even though I was born in central Thailand, we don't have the ocean in Nakhon Pathom. And then when I went to college, I have actually labeled myself as a mountain person or a jungle person. Did a lot of hikings in the woods on the mountains, but not very much visiting the ocean. But I was fortunate enough to have seen Phuket and Got PP Island in 1986 before I went to college. I have to say that PP back then was really, really pristine. It was only island and coconut trees, and there's only one cabanas there. So having seen that in 1986, and some decades after that, we have loaded our beaches and coastal line are destroyed. First of all, by the destruction of mangroves, the conversion of mangrove and habitat into, for example, shrimp ponds. So we have lost a vast majority of great mangrove habitats. And the beaches we have both on the Gulf of Thailand on the east side and on the Andaman Sea on the west side. We can still say that Thailand are still beautiful, the islands are still great. But when you look close enough, I have an opportunity to bring all these kids to the environmental education camps, to diving missions. And when we landed on some random beach on the random nameless island, we have witnessed loads and loads and loads of ocean debris, starting from bottles, starting from abandoned fishing gears. And can you believe that one time we have seen slippers or flip-flops? It's like packed on one beaches, and we've been collecting those, like 400 or 500 flip-flops just stuck everywhere between the rocks on the beaches. So in terms of how can we help to get back, maybe bring back the time into 10, 20, 30 years ago, the load of marine debris or plastic ocean debris is way too many. We might be fighting the endless battle, but we just have no other choice. We just have to clean it up. Otherwise, we would have no beautiful coastline. There's no clean beaches or clean coast anymore. And of course, a lot of people are doing a lot of great things. We have friends and partners and colleagues who has been engaging communities in bringing up the plastic garbage from the ocean, turning it into something usable, upcycling, recycling, turning ghost nets or bottles into something, recyclable products. But I think Ari has shown another example of not much of, even though it's not big quantity, but you have actually shown the world that one person can make a huge difference in terms of innovative ideas. I really love your ideas in working with the local craftsmen in terms of using a mix of cotton threads and also nylon threads. I've never seen something that looked just like the Thai silk here. And of course, you turn it into something that is thematic, something that is related to the ocean. I think I love both the innovation ideas, creativity, and your artistic approach in bringing all these pieces together. So congratulations once again, and I hope that we would see more artists like you. I think you will keep inspiring and touch more hearts around the world. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is like the, if we say like the Ocean Got Talents Award, I would go to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Varipat. So, because you also like the marine biologist and scientist as well, and you also, of course, see not only Thailand but around the world. Could you share your experience and your view as well, please?
Yes, sure. First of all, thanks for having me here today, and I think it's great to really sort of sit around and talk in person for a change. And it's such a beautiful setting here with the artwork and exhibition. So I think talking about clean coast, since I'm turning 20 next month, so I've been growing up with a lot of, I think, actually beach cleanup. Because I remember when I was maybe even like secondary school already, like when I went to the beach, I think Hua Hin or Cha'am, you already started to see the waste on the beach. But I think never imagined that, compared to the problem that we have now, I think the scale is a lot worse. And back then you could still see, in a little bit remote places like Mukot Surin, or also I had my first snorkeling in PP as well. And back then it's just nothing, like white pristine beach without any trace of plastic. But now I think if you see, like 2 months ago, so I went to Tarutao. It's also very remote island, but then the beach just flooded with all this plastic. And I think it just showed that apart from local problem, the plastic, the waste that coming with tourism, I think the ocean has been, I think, uptake so much trash from our consumption. And when you thinking about the plastic has just, evolved, come to the earth about 70 years ago. We produce from about 2 million tons a year, but now we currently produce over 300 million tons a year. And basically we have more than about 9 billion tons of plastic that has been produced, Tons. And 6 billion tons is still remain in the environment today. That kind of the scale that we're talking about, and I think half of the plastic that has been produced in the past 15 years. So the scale of problem is escalate. And now that you go to even remote places, you also have witnesses some of the plastic pollution. I think speaking about ocean, we've been taking out a lot of fish, a lot of species out of the ocean and replace it with our trash. It is really sad in terms of like the fate of the ocean. I study in Australia, and also I think over there, there's a lot of still would represent a good like clean coast, because there's so very little population and it's so remote as well. So there's still a lot of clean coasts around the world, but now even in remote places have to also I think suffer from a lot of marine pollution. as a result. And I think it is become not just a local problem, but I think it's become a global crisis as well. And I think earlier this month, at the UN Environmental Assembly, so I think the world now agree that it is a serious problem that we have to tackle it as a global community. So hopefully that will bring really sort of a new hope, because I think to really tackle the marine plastic, you have to reduce the production. If you keep pumping more than 300 million tons, the latest figure is almost 400 million tons every year. There's no way that you can manage or recycle way out of the problem. But first, I think we have to really reduce the production, then sort of really reform how we our relationship with plastic, treat it as a resources and making sure that it come back to use in the product again. Yeah.
You said very interesting figures about 9 billion ton is already in the ocean. And as a global population, I think we have around 8 billion right now, right? So it means that each one of us representing for 1 ton or 1,000 kilogram of the plastic in the ocean. And that's huge, right? I mean, on average, like each day, normally people generate 1.4% of 1.4 kilo of trash, but 10% is plastic. But in a more developed country, it's more plastic. So very interesting and very scary. But what about you, Kun Baitong, Miss Earth?
Well, they start with the age, right? They start with the age too. So actually, I'm almost 30 soon in next year. See? But actually, I'm a South girl from the south of Thailand, and the city named Chumphon. So I have like the life related with the beach, with the coast a lot, and well, it's like go back when I was young. It's gonna be like, I can say it's really clean, even it's just past just 20 plus year, But the thing is like from my experience is like when I go to the beach, I walk around. You're gonna hear the sound of the beach when you walk on that, because that means it's really clear and pure, right? Because like some of my teachers said to me, because they have a lot of oxygen in the sand. So that's the reason why when you walk on the beach, you're gonna hear the sound like really, sound, something like that. I don't know how to do the sound, but actually it's really different now, because last year I go back to the same shore, to the same beach, and it cannot even only hear the sound, but cannot see the sand, for real sand, because right now we're gonna see a lot of not only the big plastic, but we're gonna see like microplastic or even more or even worse, because it's make like the marine life die every day, and we did not know, because let's say we have many places we did not like explore yet, so it's like cause a lot of damage. And when I seeing that, it's like kind of sad, because really beautiful place now is turned out to be like the junk land, and we cannot like afford that, because everyone has our behavior is a part of that. Even you say like, no, I did not use plastic at all, but like Pipette said, it's not a bad guy, but it's a material. If you see like material, like Ari see the material and make it like wonderful job like this. So well, about the experience, I think it's like even me, I still can see the change. It's like completely damaged 100%, even more, even worse. So it's really sad right now, yeah. But the thing is like we supposed to realize it's really bad. Even you did not stay close to the beach. So you had to do something about your behavior and help together, because the trash is not come only local people or the people around the island or near that, but it's from us to the people in the city or everyone. So we're supposed to like think about that too in every minute we use.
So it's good that Nong Baitong also like share about that Ari turned this trash into something useful, and I think it will be very useful as well to share to many people as much as possible to understand the concept of using something as a material, something that will create and have serve a long-term purpose that lasts.
Yes.
For example, art is another form that could last for a long time. They say, what is it say? Life is long, art longer, something.
Yeah.
La vista.
Art is long, life is short. Right?
Yes. so
Life short, art long.
Yes, I believe that like all the art piece that like Ari create will stay longer than our own lifetime.
Yeah, but I mean like the Ari is create life. Creates art in another level because we can see it's not only art, but is this a material we can use in real life? Because right now mostly of people, right, Pipet, seeing the plastic is a bad guy. But hey, let's say for real, it's our behavior, right? Right, Pipet? Please support me.
So Ari, can you share with us a little bit like how, I know that you work with the local community to transform the thread into this artwork, but what is their reaction, the process that they have to work, like, creating the yarn by themselves, and like what is the struggle that you face, the challenge, and like the community reaction when they say the complete piece?
Yeah. So at the beginning, actually, I had no idea about weaving. I had no idea about like textile making process. So like, but near where I live in Sanur, there is a weaving place. It was dying because no tourists anymore. So I talked, after I collected some plastic ropes, and then I talked to the weaver and I asked her like, can we weave this plastic? And then she said, no, it's impossible. And I said to her like, okay, tell me what I should do. And then said, well, you have to create to get the threads, the fine threads, so we can put it inside the loom. So I did it myself. At the beginning, I just unraveled everything myself. And then after 3 days, I gave it to her. And then she helped me to roll in the smaller spool to be placed in the loom. But it was still very difficult. And I said to her like, please, let's do it together. Let's do it together. Of course, it was frustrating for her. But again, I think we should give reward. For some people, we have to give them reward, We cannot judge people to do difficult things without any reward. So I said, okay, don't worry, I will pay you very well. Let's start together. We learn together. So basically, it was my school. And then she started to do it very slowly. And then finally, after like 1 week, she could create only like maybe 20 centimeters for 1 week. And then she looked how beautiful it was. And then she said, okay, let's do this. I said, yeah, let's do this, Let's work together. And then don't worry, I will pay you monthly. It doesn't matter how much you produce. So it was how we started. And then slowly, now we can do it a lot quicker. Yeah. And then so many people involved in this project now, even people that selling food after work, they pick up some plastic ropes and then they can do it at home, So it's a good side job for them, like extra income for daily life. And then when they see the finished works, now everybody want to be part of it. Yeah, I think that's make me really happy. We need community to support our project basically, and then we cannot do it ourselves.
And I believe there's still other type of trash that you found on the beach as well, right? Are there like still plastic bags? What are you planning to find solution for? In Thailand as well, we have so many plastics, super dirty and very low grade quality. I think the rope quality is still there. So what do you think? Like what we can do if we have to do two-way, right? Reduce the use of plastic bag, the one that is single use, but the ocean still have the plastic that already in the sea. So what we can do to find the second life for that material?
At the moment, we are still working only with the plastic ropes. Like the long one, we can use it as, and then the fine with the longer plastic ropes that constructed by the fine good plastic threads or nylon, we can use it for weaving. And the short one, because so many shorter ones, we can use it as the sculpture materials. Like if you see some of the artworks there, like the at the exhibition, if you see the shorter that we inserted at the weaving pieces, actually that's the short one that we cannot use as a weaving. And we found a lot of plastic bottles. With the plastic bottles, actually we are using it to roll the plastic threads, the nylon. So we can use the plastic bottles after we clean it. And with the plastic bags, we cannot use it at the moment. But again, just by picking it up, put them together, aside, that's already very, very helpful, basically. So we do our best, with, yeah, like on the photos there, some smaller pieces, we still can use it as a sculpture. And then I have like a tons of materials in my warehouse in Bali. A lot of my friends ask me like, what are you going to do with that? I said like, oh, we will see, the material will talk to me. So let's see what will happen in the next few years.
Yes. Anyway, you make very good first step to pick up the first material that, beautiful and like will last really long. And another thing, I'm not sure if you can see in detail, because you also pick up the small pieces of the coral that broken and turn into like casting into like a metal material and decorate in your art as well. And you see that the coral is the first contact when it's, with the marine debris, right? Maybe I ask Kun Pipesh to share like the impact the plastic have on our ecosystem.
Yeah, I think it's very clearly, I think people seen it's a lot of marine endangered species that get entangled with the plastic. And I think, so we asked about coral. I think it's also the one that suffer quite a lot, because when it touch or have contact with plastic, it also increase the chance of coral diseases as well. So I think that's a study a few years ago found that the coral reef that has exposed to the marine plastic also has like 20 times more chances to get coral disease. Oh. And if you get the big piece of plastic cover, just a couple of days, the coral will die already. So it's very, I think, vulnerable ecosystem. I mean, one thing that I pick up from Ari, which could offer the solution, is also the concept that see the plastic as a valuable resources, So I think the key problem that we have with plastic is the come with throwaway culture, right? Because it's abundant, it's so cheap, basically it's free, right? Where in the past we growing up with everything is a resource. You use the you finish your drink in the bottle, then you bring it to the shop to get the refund for the deposit. That kind of concept see the material as a valuable resources. But then the plastic culture really changed that you don't need to care about return or reuse it, just throw away. And I think it's a deep root of environmental problem, actually, So it's a story of stuff, right? They encourage you to consume more so that they can produce more to make more benefit, to make more profit. And that's really the key issue with the plastic. When it becomes so cheap, nobody cares about it. But then if we have sort of this concept of the plastic also as a valuable resources, and then I think now it's a lot of company or a lot of government also taking in the idea of circular economy, right? So to use kind of resource more sustainably. And I think one thing that really needs to happen is to put the price tag on the plastic. And then I think it will change consumer behavior very quickly. Another thing is, I think also the Ari art really show about how to communicate the issue more broadly to a lot of people. And I think I agree with Pitom as well that I think art is a really good mean to mainstream some of the, I think, key idea, also key message to wider audience, because we have to admit there's a lot of environmental problem recognized in a small group of people in society. but we need to raise more awareness. And I think it almost become perhaps a new task of artists, the Anthropocene art that have to figure out. And I think I've seen the rise of many artists that now, trying to find a way to play around with plastic to make it into a artwork and make it, I think, it's really kind of, I think, suitable for the era that we are living in, Anthropocene. And I think plastic is clearly one of the biggest footprint that we have created for the world.
With the art, I think a few weeks ago, Ari, you were with us here in Bangkok, and you also visit one of the exhibition called Tangle that organized at the Bangkok Art and Cultural Center. And Tipesh and Dr. Barisat also got a chance to show those exhibitions as well. So we see obviously like there's some rising and the need to communicate about environmental issue through art. Dr. Barisat, what's your view? You see that the opportunity in this to continue to raise this awareness more?
Well, I have to say that I'm a very optimistic person. I always look and see opportunities everywhere. And I think since you mentioned the last month that we had a Tangled exhibition at the Bangkok Art Space in downtown, organized by Environmental Justice Foundation and Love Wildlife Foundation, that and these are one of the great examples of how much individual or small institution, small organization can do. You can partner with one artist, create a couple of weeks, a couple of months exhibition, create some products that people can support, raise awareness, and bring the environmental issues to the regular people in the city. Make them realize what is going on around the world, apart from their own life and what's happening on the social media. So bringing connections from the nature that is already been disconnected on the daily basis. I think with that, we can always look for best practices. People have a mass scale of trying to help with the circular and recycle and upcycle business. You can go to five-star malls in Bangkok and you can see a carpet that was made from upcycled plastic, and the price is not even affordable for regular people. So a lot of people is trying to do a lot of great things. But then we need also small scale, large scale, anything possible to help each other. First of all, helping to clean up the ocean. It's everyone's job now.
Yes.
You do whatever you can to support that. And then at the same time, like Pet said, reducing our consumption. If the demand is decreased, production decrease as well. So we have to really do everything we can. We cannot anticipate or actually know what kind of approach, what kind of attempt would work. We try to do every way is possible. Otherwise, we will never have a clean ocean. We would never have a safe seafood to eat. We would never have any good vacation location to go to, and stuck in the air-conditioned room forever, and then causing the triple planetary crisis, which is global warming, biodiversity loss, and also adding more pollution and waste to the world.
You bring very important subject because you're talking about climate change and all this pollution. And Miss Earth, could you share about your role in advocating all these issues?
Oh, well, actually, I'm going to talk about the Miss Earth organization. They've been like doing this job for 20 years plus because they believe in the power of women, like the other beauty pageant. But the thing is, like, they poise on the safe environment, save our Mother Earth. See, okay, Miss Earth organization been working for 20 years, but let's speak about the truth. Nothing changed yet. But the thing changing is like has more opportunity to people getting to know more. I think social media is really important right now. It's not only like create a toxic, but it's create an impact. Like for everyone to know, because right now we can like, for example, we can communicate with the artist like Ari or like many artists in the world to create like amazing job, right? And for me, I think this title is not only the title, but it's about opportunity to speak louder and more clear, because I love to do this job, not just only this year when I win the title, but I love to do it more and make it more impact and make it more change, because we kind of afraid of change in the future, right? But change is good. Maybe it's not, but we never know. At least we try. So what am I doing right now is not only the Miss Earth Thailand or Miss Earth Fire, but I also be ambassador of the Green World Foundation as well. And I'm not just only come to speak. You know, speak is the first pass to let people know as a first step. But next step is like brainwash people, you know, to let them like, okay, let's do it together. Okay, I speak because I wanna inspire you some sport you can do. You don't have to follow me, you don't have to follow Pipet, Pitom or Vivi. But you need to follow your heart, what exactly you can do in your style, how you clean your lifestyle, something like that. So that's my part, that's my job. I take it as a job because it's my responsibility of this world. I breathe the air in my lungs, so I need to take something out to make it better. You know, and like Pitom and Pipet say, it's like, well, it's really great opportunity to connect with the great artists like Ari. And also like, you know, this is like another level of like create another such a beautiful thing. It's not only like from trash, but we're gonna think more about like what we can do less and bring up more about like good energy or something like that. Because like Pitom told me before, like it's in the activity of activist environment world, it's not only like good impact only, but also we had to think about another impact as well. Because you know, we have both sides, but which way is like go in the middle and good for any way. Something like that. Fire.
So, Ari, you spent a few weeks in Thailand as well. What is your impression of the Thai culture, and like if we really want to communicate with the people that to reduce the plastic consumption and also start picking up trash and do something about it? What is the next step? Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm still in love with Bangkok actually, really. I'm missing it already. Yeah, when I was there, I was very surprised with how enthusiastic the audience, like when we had the opening, and also when I talked to some of the audience, and then with the interviews, and also I went to some exhibition related to plastic. You know, I was with you, right? So yeah, and then I didn't really see that in Canada. I don't see it in Indonesia, Bali or Jakarta. So I was really impressed with Thailand, like how you guys are very, very concerned about the environment. And then you also have like a Thai people are very, very cultured people, you know, and then you maintain that heritage, the culture heritage from the ancestors. I think it's very important, you know, and then yeah, I'm hopefully I can work together again with Thai institutions, or maybe, you know, with the gallery like Kun Phon, you know. So yeah, I would love to work together with you guys anytime.
Please come over.
Yes. Okay.
I would love to.
Yeah, I think it's because we also have the weaving culture as well. I think it would be
Yes,
a
yes.
great thing, and I think we have unlimited supply
Yeah.
of the trash from the ocean, and that leads us to the next topic about turning resource into something valuable. I mean, the term circular economy have been gaining, you know, popularity and understanding each day, but we have to understand the concept of circular economy, right? Make something that to last, not just something to be trash again. So in your
Yes,
experience
yes.
and your point of view, what type of material or the product that you can give example or share, or something that you would like to see more?
Well, I go first then. I would never imagine that in our lifetime we can actually buy a T-shirt that was made from PPE. I was really impressed about Wat Jak Dang in Bang Kachao that turned PET and PE's plastic and turned it into the monk's robe. I mean, this is actually happening. So of course, with great ideas, with technology, with innovation, with putting partnerships together, we have a lot more opportunity to convert all this so-called trash from the ocean and turn it into something that lasts longer and not going back to the environment. I think I would support, I have bought several products in my house, in my home, that is made from recycled plastic from the ocean. I would support any artist possible to buy products from them, whether it's face masks for COVID prevention or bracelets or anything. I think we have a lot more room. Who would imagine that out of the blue we still have mask that is trash, but we can also produce the mask that will last longer. So I hope that maybe some recycled materials can be produced into face masks or some medical products or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see more integration between technology, innovation, and ideas.
Architect.
I think my hope is really kind of, with the younger generation. I think I agree with Pitam that there will be a lot of innovation that we can turn plastic into more sustainable resources. But again, I think what we trying to do is really we're trying to communicate for change, right? In terms of awareness, in terms of understanding, and hopefully people will act differently as well. And I think that's the ultimate goal. But I think when you look at the younger generation, or the new generation, I think they have a lot more awareness, and I think a lot more deeper understanding as well in terms of environmental crisis. I think we see the movement for climate change that basically they see that that's the world they're going to be living in the next 20-30 years, that if it's going to be facing with extreme weather, that like really their future. So I think they really sort of communicate and really show that we need to change now, not waiting until 20 years. And I think it's the same with plastic. A lot of things that need to happen, you also need policy change, you need a new law and legislation, and that's not going to happen without the public support. So when changing personal behavior is important, I think we also have to have a bigger understanding about what needs to be changed. Just like in terms of plastic pollution, I still believe that we have to seriously reduce the plastic production, because if we are keeping sort of the production up against everything we do, there's no chance that we can deal with the problem. So we have to turn off the tap first, and I think with the new global plastic treaty, we sort of now that the world have agreed that it is a global issue, and we're going to tackle, I think, the plastic production as well as sort of recycling process and the end mean. That I think providing a lot of hope. I think another thing is, I think also we really need to look for the way that going to mainstream the plastic recycling. So right now there's a lot of artists, a lot of innovators trying to bring plastic into the material, but unless the law said that, and I think now we started to see, like in EU, right? They started to make it compulsory for some of the product to have recycled material, at least 30-40%. I think that's the way you really kind of going to uptake the plastic waste into the material again. Right now, I think in terms of the art form, we demonstrate that what can be done, but then to mainstream it, to really use a lot of plastic waste into the manufacturing again, we need the law change. And I think we have a lot of, I think, solution and example. It's not that we don't know how to manage the plastic. Places like Jula Zero Waste, they really demonstrate about the whole kind of ecosystem, from start charging the plastic bag by charging 2 baht per bag, you already reduce the plastic bag consumption by 80%. It's like simple like that, but how we can scale up to national level, and also just follow up some of the successful solution.
Yeah, like both of our teachers says. Can I copy and pass? But anyway, I think it's really good topic to talk today, because for me, from Pipet first, you said about like from me for next generation, right? But I think it's gonna be really powerful if every generation is combined together, because you have like a lot of knowledge we never know, or we think we know but we did not know exactly what it is. And I think I'm in the middle of generation from the younger and older, and I think it's going to be really amazing if we can combine together, because any generation we has a gift is different, and if the gift is come together, it's gonna make a lot of change and impact in a good way. So I would love to doing that. I would love to combine every generation together and create such an amazing thing like Ari, like everyone here, because both of them is be my teacher and be my inspiration, and so we supposed to continue this inspiration to older generation, and it's not only younger but supposed to be older generation as well, because right now it's like, yeah, I know we born different, but right now we're supposed to see the world in the real we're supposed to see. It's not out in the dream world before. It's changing already. So what exactly we can do it together? And about the innovation and many things, yes, I think it's gonna come more after this, because I think right here, right now, today, Ari just create another impact, another level of idea, inspiration to create. Like from trash to something more valuable, trash to treasure, right? And I don't think about only the plastic pollution, but we has a lot of the problem we cannot even see. But we can start with the plastic and trash for us because we can touch it. But just don't forget to think about the other thing as well. Even the weather we cannot touch it, or about the extinction, about the biodiversity loss, and everything like that. So we need everyone. We need every gift of everyone to make this world to be real change and make it real sustainability. Not just only the word, but what exactly we can action, what exactly we can do, because everyone has such an amazing idea, but we never combine together, So we supposed to make it in the same way, because we have one goal, to make the world to be the better place. Not only safe, but just make it clear for the future. Because right here, right now, we talk about every 1 hour. We talk about 1 hour already about saving the world, but it's not only today. It's about our future, it's our breed in the future as well. So let's think about that. In every breath you take in and out. Yeah.
I think this is very extremely interesting point to be inclusive, and also connecting the dot between different generation, because each generation come with their own environment, right?
Yes.
The baby boomer, the revolutionary thing, those times, right? And the new generation, they're suffering from the impact that the previous generation is talking.
Yeah.
But how we can work together, not separate as because of your behavior, now I'm the sufferer, right?
Yeah, we cannot be aggressive with everything,
Yeah.
because right now the world is really sad enough. So let's be more gentle, more kind, and Phi Tom always said to me, we have 3 things. If it's kind enough, it is true enough, and also it is necessary. So I do remember that when Phi Tom told me that, and I think it's gonna be good if you guys think about that too. It's you don't have to be aggressive to we have to do it now. It's okay, take it easy. Okay, we can do it now, right? But what we can do, you need to think more about that. You don't have to work hard, but think hard and work less. Work with your heart.
Ari is a great example. He was angry, he was disappointed, but he turned his anger into this great collection. I think this is just a fantastic example.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Kudos.
And
Get more angry next time.
Okay. But but not against the world, right? Not against the world, but just turn to be like something else. It's really wonderful. You know, I mean, like we're seeing this trash every day in our course, but we never think about like what exactly we can do. We try to make them to be something else, something like another product, like bag, like something like that. But this is the next level. So I'm impressed because as the first time I walk in here, it's like I thought it's a fabric from the cotton.
She thought it was a real cotton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's a real cotton. But when you touch it, I mean, like, wow, that's an amazing job. It's a, yeah, I don't know what to say.
And I think also just you have to remember that if it left in the sea, it is deadly for so many animals, right?
Yes,
Dolphin,
yes.
turtle.
Like for example, when we
easy to get.
scuba diving, and I saw like many rope like wrapped with the coral, and they did not die like immediately, but eventually they're gonna die because they cannot breathe, they cannot grow when they can. So it's like fact. I mean, like impact with every like level in every situation. It's really good example.
So I think that's why like, when we bring many people with innovation, you have engineer background, and if we could, I'm not sure, just sharing, no? Like if we have like a camp that not just dedicated for the youth group, because we often do like the youth camp, the family camp, but if we can all bring the intergeneration together, the grandmother, grandfather, grandparent, the kid, and us, as a middle, just to go somewhere with some different view of expertise and based on like a problem-based learning solution, right? Maybe we can have even more innovation.
And I think one thing, like Ari talked at the beginning, we have a lot of solution from nature already, something that we can replace plastic with. I think we should also go back, and it's a lot of, I think, local wisdom. It also helps to the production to happen locally, to generate the economic in the local communities. I think natural packaging is another great example. There's a lot of things that it makes sense to eat and throw away, but then you should replace with the disposable material. And I think in nature you have so many material that can develop. I think for Indonesia, they're also trying to use seaweed to replace some of the plastic to make it like a natural biodegradable plastic. And I think there's a lot of room to grow that type of material, because I think we have to admit that a lot of food packaging, it's very hard to clean and recycle properly. So those type of plastic, we should, looking for some alternative that we can throw safely in the environment.
And just to add about the seaweed, if you can elaborate more, because this is our space to talk about environmental issue as well. Seaweed also play some role in capture the carbon as well, right?
Yeah. I think seaweed, there's a lot of, I think, great solution, in nature. I think seaweed definitely one of the great example. It's grow very quickly, it's capture carbon, it can turn into so many products. I think on land you also have bamboo, a type of grass, that grow really quickly as well. So there's a lot of, I think, some of the species that present itself as a solution. And I think now more and more innovation happen. I think for the seaweed, I think endless potential, because you can also use it for energy, biofuel as well. So for the feed, animal feed, used as a protein. So there's a lot of opportunity with seaweed for sure.
And if you would like to set a trend where when we talk about conservation, like young generation, they will feel like proud and like empower. Because if we talk about conservation 20 years ago, the general public will look at it like, oh, you stop development. So I'm not sure about that. Is it still same in Indonesia or Canada? Like when we talk conservation, people thought that we are boring and we be like what we do. So imagine 10 years from now, if we want to, of course, we want to see less trash, in the coastline, and that less animal dying from entanglement. What kind of like message or idea that we need to like plant to this generation now? I mean, we say that like your generation too old to change. Is it correct?
Yeah, I'll be gone in 10 years. Goodbye. Well, I have to say, a couple of years ago, I had a chance to visit Egypt, and not only learning how wonderful the culture and the history and everything else was, it's actually made me thinking, all this civilization in the world has rise and has fallen, How can we be so sure that this Anthropocene era is going to last forever? You see the big city like Bangkok, there's so many places in the world that has more buildings than green space. And look at the country like Canada, Switzerland, New Zealand, they have more green space than housing. Which kind of habitat would we like to live in, So sometimes it's just get carried away. We actually, growing family members, we need more food, we need more housing, we just demanding, and keep exploiting nature. And I think it's just, not too late to rethink what is really a good habitat or a home for us human beings. I mean, we need, of course, housing to live in, but we also need green space and nature as well. But how can we actually get that balance back? We're not going to try to destroy every building and grow trees instead. But how about the green space that we still have? How can we actually benefit from that? And like Pet said, the answer would probably lies in the nature. It would be something in the woods, something in the bush, something in the ocean that would help us solve the problems, like bamboos, like seaweeds, like seagrass. Maybe, if we are smart enough to look around, try to find something that would not only help the world, but also help human being as well at the same time. It may be abstract, but I'm hoping it's still not too late.
No, I really believe we are living in a very exciting time, because at the same time we have all this planetary crisis, right, that we are facing, and people can overwhelm and also feel hopeless. But I think that the last thing you want people to feel, hopeless. We always like communicate with solution. And I think I've been working in conservation for over 20 years, and I never believed that now, the word that NGO have been talking, there's no planet B, there's like nature-based solution now coming out from the head of state. You're looking at the COP26, all head of state talking about conservation, talking about sustainability. So I think the agenda is really shifting, and we will see the change and transformation will happen a lot quicker than definitely than 20-30 years ago, where we start to communicate about the problem, we need to act, we need to change. But now I think there's no need to talk about problem anymore. People experience it themselves, right? I mean, firsthand with the climate change, with plastic pollution. We see, we eat it. Everybody eats plastic. Amount to one credit card per week. Everyone, right? Whether we like it or not, it's in our food. It's in our ecosystem everywhere. The air we breathe, right? So I think that's the problem that we share. We understand. So to move that from, I think, understanding and awareness to action, I think we will see, that kind of transformation change quickly over the next 10 years. Because it's like we are running against time as well. So the sense of crisis, I think it's good if it turns to action, right? And everyone that can demand a better policy, demand a better, I think, commitment and political will from politicians. So I'm hopeful, we are all people that are full of hope. So I think we will keep communicating, and I think, started to have younger generation to help advocate for this as well. The time is on our side, for the younger generation. They all will go soon.
But I mean, no, not soon. I believe you will stay like long enough
Immortal.
to see anything like change. Because like you said, right now everyone already know the problem, but we did not see solution yet. The thing is like, because we did not understand that enough, what exactly is supposed to be, what exactly is supposed to go, you know. We just know, but we do not understand. So next step, let's try to make everyone understand, not only the people like us, the people who really concerned about that in our life, just make all the people like general people, like just know and understand. And after you understand, you will know exactly how to do in the next step, you know, because that is like the system. You need to create like really sustained system, not only like tell them to do what exactly. Like for example, in Thailand, we tell people like, okay, use less plastic, use less straw, but let's see, you just tell people, but you did not make them like why you need to stop to using that and which option, you know. So we're supposed to tell them and make them understand like perfectly clear about our world. It's not only about the trash, but you're supposed to understand everything in our world about like nature, like animal, biodiversity, and in everything. Because when you understand, like for example, when you understand someone you love, you're gonna know how to teach them like what you love to eat, what you love to drink. It's the same like our world. So try to understand them as much as you can. And people say you have a hopeless, right? You still have hope. So that's a good sign. Even we have like little light in the dark way, it still be a light. So make it clear, because I think in my generation right now, that's why we like try to do in our way. It is because we think we don't have any support from the older generation. So try to make it together, you know, because like I said, because we did not understand enough in the way it's supposed to be. We understand like, we think we know the best, but no, it's not. The world is changing, so our knowledge is changing as well. So just want to make clear like anything can possible. For example, right here, right now, the world is getting close together and don't have war of the nation, of the religion, or anything at all, because we see the same, we see problem. But now just like make them about solution to an open mind to try any plan. Because if you don't try, you never know it's gonna succeed or not. So let's try. It's like play games, you know. You're supposed to like try to, oh maybe go this way, okay, it's not work, go to another way. Just try to fall, and you're gonna get up anytime, every time.
So I believe that Ari, when you first starting pick up that piece of rope on the beach 2 years ago, you did not imagine that your exhibition will go becoming very popular like this, right? Could you share like how you see yourself in the future?
Oh, I think with the future after this project, I just want to be like the Miss Earth, not with a dress for sure. I mean, as an ambassador, basically, like started from a very simple things, you know. Like now I have started to talk to the children, for example, the kids. When I'm on the beach carrying plastic ropes, I always try to talk to those kids, you know, what I'm doing, you know, and giving example about how plastic ropes can kill the turtle or dolphins, for example. Yeah, I think, I don't know, I think I just feel like to talk to you, let's say younger generation. I think we have to program them to understand about plastic, about what they eat every day. You know, I think the future generation is very important at this point. So yeah, like I had no idea that this project will develop this well. I never planned about that, but I think the future, I don't know if I still can continue this project in the same form, but I think I still can talk about environment easily in the future because of this experience. Yeah, I think to approach children or younger generation in a daily basis is important. You know, we uh, every time we have opportunity to talk about this, let's talk about it. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Dr. Baripat, you also work a lot with the future generation, right? So could you see that there's a very hopeful future for them? They are empowered, they can take some action?
Well, I think so. I have worked with a lot of young children and kids and parents as well. And I have seen many young generation from 4 or 5 years old up to high school with a lot of inspiring and empowered and also passions to do something to protect the planet that they will be living in, like Pet said. They don't sit around. They don't just like ignore and do nothing. Of course, everyone cares about the future. So I think these will be the new hope and the new change agents that if they were to make one decision that would help making the world a better place, like Baitong said, they will do it. And I believe that they are totally capable of, handle this planet, and we just need to step back and believe in them and inspire them, empower them, and support them in every way we can. I cannot say more about how valuable these outdoor activities, nature camps, spending time outdoors. I would encourage every family with kids to spend time with your kids in the outdoors, in the nature, forest, mountain, ocean, rivers, anywhere. So they are never been disconnected from nature. And there's all kinds of service these days. A lot of nature study groups, a lot of foundations, a lot of companies, a lot of organizations has been pumping out these endless opportunities. Like Mahidol University is also running a youth camp every year for junior high school. Green World Foundation, Ministry of Environment, many foundations, many organizations is actually try to work with the younger generations. So we have not only a normal average person that understand and turn awareness into actions, but we also need leaders, junior leaders, next generation leaders to stand up and be right in front and we're in the back to steer all this, a task force together. So we really hoping that we have leaders like Baitong and other younger generations in Thailand, in everywhere. But our generation, we just have to create platforms and opportunity for them to join, participate, be inspired, be empowered, and go out there and try their own things.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think as we are speaking, there's still war going on. So I think it really emphasizes about self-destruction nature of human. But I think that's the challenge that we have to face with, right? So who going to be the leader? What kind of leader that we want? And I really like the quote by Margaret Mead about, never doubt that a small group of determined and people can change the world, because that's the only thing that has. So I think if you are listening to this talk or you are speaking now, we are a very small group of people, but I think we are building a really important movement. And I believe, we are approaching the critical mass, the tipping point that we can turn the society to recognize the importance of nature conservation and sustainability. So keep fighting. I think we still have hope in humanity, that we can do better. We can create a better world for future generation. And I think plastic is something that we can change and, put it behind us with, I think, our idea and our creativity.
Yeah, because human is really intelligent. We are the one who create the plastic, so why not be the one who create it more in another level of useful? Because the reason why we create the plastic is because we want to save the environment, right? So let's make it clear. And like Peter mentioned, about every organization, every company, who try to help Ashley is like still doing that. So thank you for that, because me or everyone in my like generation, we get inspiration from you, from everyone before, because like I believe everyone be inspiration for each other all the times. So thank you for section this happen, and thank you for every organization. Thank you for Green World Foundation. Thank you for like Warren Lab and also Miss Earth organization in Thailand and in everywhere in the world. And we have really high hope. We can change because we already changed, but we did not know. For example, in every like general of people, even it's not in our group, they try to change. They try to. So at least you try. That's a really high hope. So let's continue to try. And everyone who has a knowledge, everyone who has a solution, let's bring it out. Let's try it together. Because like this world, we take response together. So that's it. It's our behavior. It's our duty to do.
Thank you very much, Earth. So we are the last part of the discuss now. So I would like to ask Ari and all the speakers here, just like to share with the audience, like what are the future projects that you would like to get collaboration or engagement with us. Not us, but in general, us as well.
Oh,
Yeah, Ari.
actually, at the moment, I'm going to continue this project first. I'm preparing some exhibitions like in Canada, in Singapore, and also in Australia. So I'm focusing on this at the moment because it's important to share what we have been doing. We want to give an example, for example, with the videos, with the story behind this project. So hopefully, many places in this world can imitate this kind of project. I think that's what I'm trying to focus on at the moment.
Thank you.
I just cannot say more that we need to communicate more. We need to focus. We need to tell stories about the values of biodiversity, about the threats, about this huge crisis that we are facing with every way we can. And I think anyone that is now aware of the crisis of biodiversity loss and climate change and waste and pollution, please do everything you can. Reach out to your kids, reach out to your family, reach out to your organization, support them in any effort that you think is good. Support everyone.
Yep.
And lastly, I just would like to encourage many of you to try to go on YouTube and find a clip from UNDP. I like it so much. I think it came out before the COP26. It's about one dinosaur going to the United Nations General Assembly and tell the world that don't choose extinction. So Anthropocene extinction is not just us pushing another living things to be extinct, but we will be extinct at the end as well.
Yep.
So that is a very strong message, and I would also try to encourage everyone to do whatever you can to help humanities.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I hope to see one day that we are living in the world where nature doesn't need to be protected. So because everybody already understand that it's everyone's duty to help keep it as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the future, again, as I said, we are living in a very exciting time. There's a lot of new global policy that coming out, stressing the need to, for nature conservation. Protected area, for example, is one of the way to achieve sustainable development goal. Is the area-based conservation, and I think now the world has, called that we expand our protected area to up to 30% of the earth, both land and sea. And I think there's a lot of global commitment now that are inspiring, and we hope that it will reach to the policy maker level. Mm-hmm. And I think to the general public as well, that we see the world as our home, that we need to work together.
Well, for me, it's like simple message. I just wanna tell everyone is like nothing wrong to do, about anything you think is right to do. Just dare yourself to do what you already believe, even it's like someone doing that before or whatever. Because in your experience, in your way, maybe it's gonna create another change. We never know. So let's open yourself, open your mind, and listen more, and doing more, action more. And if you has power to do something, let's do it. Like Phi Tom and Phi Phet say, whatever you can do, just do it, because take action is really important right now. Even take action to speak, even take action to give the knowledge to all the people. Even it's like the old knowledge, just bring it up. Nothing is wrong. Just continue to doing that. And if you need any help, I think every organization open to help you. Just like you did not walk alone on this way to change the world. You have us to support you, and you have many people who believe in like the changing world who support you as well. So go together, we're gonna be stronger.
You will never walk alone. Right?
I will never walk alone.
As a Liverpool fan.
How did you know I take that word?
And treat Earth like someone you love.
Yeah, treat us like someone you love. You love because it's easier to make like understand. Because I really love the earth. I really love environment. I falling in love many times with our world. So you don't have to love the world like me, but just open your mind to love your world and make it be like someone you really love, and you're gonna know how to teach them easy. Believe me, it's really easy and really simple. Don't think like over than yourself, because when you think something like over than yourself, you're gonna think it's like, oh no, I cannot doing that anymore. Like for Ari, for example, he start from really simple thing and continue to doing that. And that's the thing. When you do something simple and you continue to doing that, it's gonna create impact eventually.
Definitely. And as we never walk alone or go to the beach, and we will not leave with an empty hand.
Yep.
So I encourage everyone, if you saw trash, don't forget to pick up. If you swim in the ocean, saw animal entangled, help them if possible. And thank Marine Lab Contemporary for hosting this special talk together with the Green World Foundation. This Weaving the Ocean is not only talk about the marine plastic pollution issue, but the ocean is more than life. Yes. Is the whole planet, and they also pollution is only one of the problems. There are other more than 99 problems. So the exhibition Within the Ocean will be here at Jalon Grung 36, Marine Lab Contemporary in Bangkok until 2nd April. This is their second exhibition on this marine pollution issue already. You can learn more about their past exhibition on the Marine Lab website, or follow Marine Lab on Facebook. And thank everyone for staying with us and get to know learning. Thanks to all the speakers and the audience, and see you next time. Thank you, Ka.
Thank you, Ari. Bye.
Thank you, Ari.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
See you in
Thank you so
Bangkok.
much. Thank you. See you.